Hi, I'm Jack. I've just finished my A-levels and I thought I'd tell you about the dissertation style EPQ I did in Year 12. I got an A star for my EPQ and hopefully this series will help you get one too. So, once you've finished writing your EPQ, you're ready to create your presentation. I made mine in PowerPoint and we'll use it as an example. That's how you might want to lay yours out. So, obviously, to start with, you have a title page with the title of your project and your name on it. Then next slide sets out my reasons for doing my EPQ and why I chose the topic I did. I was able to talk around each of my reasons and explain them in more detail. I found this to be quite a good introduction. I was able to take these straight off the mind map I did at the beginning of the project. Following on from this, I listed my aims and objectives. These were originally set out in my introduction to the essay, and so I could easily pull them from there. I just read these out in my explanation in my presentation, as I didn't feel they really needed much explanation. The next slide moved on to my introduction, which made 3 main points, although for the purpose of the presentation, I changed the order of them to hopefully make more sense to my audience. I did also expand on these to make sure everyone understood what cryptography and encryption were and why they are important, as these are rather fundamental to my essay. I then put all 3 sections of the main body of my essay onto one slide. Each section had the title which we clicked on to take you through to a more detailed page. Each slide had a few of the main points made in each section, and I could then talk about in more detail to explain exactly what my project involved. Following on from this was the slide with my conclusions on it, and again I chose the main points to list, which I can then discuss in greater depth. So you've got section 1, brief history of cryptography, and then the points I would discuss in greater detail, section 2, and the points, and section 3. So then we move on to my conclusion, where I discussed the points I made in the conclusion in greater detail and what conclusions I came to. Then you've got my evaluations page. Now this one was another one that I split into 3 sections. Now bear in mind, evaluating your project is as important, if not more important, than actually just describing your project. So I split a section into skills developed, what was successful, and lessons learned and what I'd do differently next time. So for skills developed, well, this one's quite easy. You can look back at the skills and evaluation sheet that you've hopefully filled in and pull them just straight off there. They'll probably include things like time management, decision making, planning and organisation, research, referencing, and ICT skills. You can choose some specific examples of using them and explain where and how you got these skills. In what was successful, I looked at what was successful about my project. No real surprise there. You can again use the skills and evaluation sheet to read back and list the things that you thought went well and then talk about why. For example, I talked about using the Gantt chart to help me use good time management, and I found this really useful to keep me on track so that I've been able to stick to my timeline. I took a similar approach for my lessons learned page, where I talked about my difficulties with finding free research material and being more aware of my word count in future. The presentation ended with an any questions page. Now it can be difficult to anticipate what questions you might be asked. I was asked something rather random about quantum teleportation, but any reading around the subject you've done will hopefully be beneficial. You are allowed to plant some questions in the audience by getting your friends to ask you specific questions that you then know about and can prepare for. But your teacher or supervisor will still be asking a question or two that you won't know in advance. Finally, and I really can't stress this enough, practice your presentation. Run for it first on your own and then with someone else. They can make sure you're speaking clearly, loudly, and at the right speed, and will tell you if they can actually follow what you're going on about. It's also a good idea to take some notes, prompt cards, or just a transcript of your presentation with you. I would avoid reading just straight off a transcript, it doesn't look terribly good, but it's good to have something with you that you can refer to if you do lose your thread or forget what exactly it is you're talking about. So that's everything. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to check out the other videos in this series.